Let me ask you, how many of you agree that it's okay for the school to do this outside the awareness of the parents? Okay, how many of you think, no, that's not a good idea, parents need to be involved? So most of you think the parents need to be involved.
Right.
Okay, Eli, you disagree, why?
Well, I was one of those students. I came out very young when I was 8 years old, and by the time I was in high school, my school administration wouldn't change my file to female. So while my driver's license was female, my permanent record was male. And I had to fight for it. And frankly, it was humiliating. People would see my file, call me a boy without even seeing my face or who I was. It was dehumanizing and really, it really made me feel like I was lesser than the other students.
But the question was, why do you think it's okay to exclude the parents?
Well, that's because sometimes parents don't agree.
But sometimes they do.
Absolutely, but that's not all the time.
So can I just say something?
Yes.
My name's Asra, I'm a mom, and you know, your situation was one in which the school system wouldn't honor your identity. And nowadays, the school systems are honoring the identity that the children want to embrace. There are secrets being kept from parents. Mm-hmm. And the best evidence of a child's success is parental involvement. And look at the audience, that we are on the side of having parents involved and not keeping secrets, because ultimately we have to bring any parent along who may not have understanding. And I completely respect what you're saying in terms of the isolation and the rejection that a parent may have. But ultimately, when that child leaves the public school system, they are in that family, and that is for life. And so we need to keep bringing parents in and keep them engaged.
Asra, I think we ultimately do have the same goal here. We do want parents to support their children, and we want that world in which parents can always be supportive of their child being trans or exploring their identity. But unfortunately, we don't live in that world, and there are parents who are going to reject their identity.
We want to be aspirational. So we do not go to the lowest common denominator of society ever. We want to be aspirational. We want to have the experts, the professionals, Dr. Phil and you, Doctor, you know, and others work with families then. And now the school systems, you know, the Biden administration has put millions of dollars now into the brain health of children because we want to uplift children. So we should be aspirational.
Absolutely,
and not go
we should
down
be
to
working with parents to train them on gender identity issues.
Right.
But unfortunately, we're not there yet.
Jennifer says she felt betrayed by her 10-year-old daughter's teachers and therapist. She says they went nearly 3 months calling her daughter by a different name and gender identity without her ever being notified.
Yes, I think it was actually more than 3 months.
Okay, how long?
Well, it was September until February. At the beginning of the year, her teacher sent me an email. And in this email, it used a name I didn't recognize. I actually thought he got the wrong parent. I went up to my daughter's room and I looked on her dresser and I saw that she had written this name and the words they, them. And I said, do you have a new nickname? It was actually kind of close to her name, but kind of androgynous. And she said yes, and I didn't really think anything more of it. When my daughter was about 9 or 10, she was experimenting with all these different identities, many different ones. And by the time she was in 5th grade, unbeknownst to us, she had come out to her class and her teacher as transgender, as you know, she thought she was a boy.
Okay.
We didn't know about this. A couple months later, and furthermore, the adults were using male pronouns for her at school, and they never told us about this.
When she broached this subject with you earlier, you didn't, like, freak out, punish her, ostracize her, kick her out? Because that happens a lot. Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.